What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So as you all know, I have been going through and kind of playing each of the Motorstorm games. Now, I'm not going to lie though, I have not played Arctic Edge yet because I'm still trying to find a copy of it. But I did end up going back and playing the first Motorstorm. I then played Pacific Rift and also Apocalypse. And you know what? There's something I gotta admit. I really wish they would make another Motorstorm game. The only issue is I really don't know if that's going to happen though. Now, the reason why I do say this is going to come down to a couple of different factors. So for one, a thing I did not even realize about this game until I loaded it up again, guys, and yeah, I did end up seeing one of these studios that was part of Motorstorm was going to be Evolution, and yeah, if y'all do not know what they did end up making Drive Club back in the day on the PS4, which by the game was an amazing experience for that matter. Unfortunately, apparently the game didn't do all that great or something is at least what I was hearing, even though every time I look online, everyone's praising Drive Club. Even to this day, the game came out like 12 years ago, and it still looks better than most new games do in a lot of different areas. So yeah, it was pretty dang amazing. The issue, though, is that is going to be Evolution Studios, and they also did end up working on Motorstorm. That I did not even realize till I loaded the game up and went, oh yeah, Evolution. Then it hit me. I'm like, oh, yeah, Evolution. So that is probably going to be one of the main issues with that. As we all do know, a lot of the companies with EA and stuff like that, guys, are obviously not open. We all do know Evolution isn't. Codemasters is also no longer making Dirt games and or WRC, which hurts. So yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, could we actually see another Motorstorm game? Now, I do quickly want to go over a Reddit post I did end up finding. Now, guys, the thing is, we all really do not know if there could be a Motorstorm game or not, because I did end up seeing a rumor that there is one. But again, that's going to be a rumor, so it obviously probably isn't even true, or it isn't. But this is going to say Paul, who was a director on Drive Club, went on to direct Onrush and Project Cars 3, which is going to get delisted and or is. He is now working at Avalanche Studios Group, so it is likely we will never see a Motorstorm game again. Now, something I found pretty interesting about this is probably down to the fact that a lot of people will most likely love another Motorstorm game, but the thing is, would it really be possible, and would something like this in the racing game genre really work at this point? To be honest, guys, I feel like we all do know at this point, but the racing game genre is in a very odd place. I mean, we're not going to have a new Forza Horizon game until probably later next year sometime, and who knows, it could be before then if something with GTA 6 end up happening and they move it back more or something. We might end up getting an announcement on that game sooner because they're not going to want to release it with GTA 6. I don't think any game wants to get released next to GTA 6. Besides that, we're not going to have a Need for Speed game for a straight minute, most likely a couple of years. And we're all pretty much going to have the crew at that moment that's going to be the only, or at least one of the only games still getting updates. And even then, that game is also going to be in a very odd place. So I do feel like another Motorstorm game would not only be very fun for a lot of people, but also it would be a big breath of fresh air. And the thing I gotta admit though is going back in and playing the first Motorstorm, going over and playing Apocalypse, then going back and playing Pacific Rift, because I didn't end up finding a copy of that game till after I got Apocalypse. But either way, I did end up going through and playing every game. I kind of played the first one, then ended up going to Pacific after, you know, once I had them all. And I feel like if they were to ever release another game, I think a lot of people would end up liking it. Now, a few of the rumors I did end up seeing is apparently these games did not sell that well on PS3, or I couldn't really find much data on this stuff, so do let me know in the comments below on that. If maybe you guys find something else on it, I would be definitely interested to know. But apparently the overall numbers of these games did not sell that well back on the PS3 and stuff, which I honestly could maybe see that because I'm pretty sure these were only on the PlayStation and were basically never on Xbox and stuff, so maybe that might have played a role, or maybe having them on every single console probably would have did better, most likely. Kind of like how Drive Club's only on PlayStation, or at least was, and now it's going to be on PC and it's modded and stuff. So I would say releasing the game on every platform is probably going to be a better way to do it. And unless it's going to be like an exclusive or something like that too, then yeah, then I can understand it. But I really do feel like the entire exclusivity thing really does need to go away. And something like Forza Horizon 5 is showing that there's going to be a big market. Like, for example, if PlayStation ever decided to do something absolutely insane and release Gran Turismo 7 on Xbox, you know for a fact it would sell like absolute hotcakes. Are they going to do that? From what I have seen, probably not. The thing is that really did get me with Motorstorm, though, going back in and playing these. Now, keep in mind, guys, again, I never got to play Apocalypse back in the day, or even Pacific Rift. I did not even know about Pacific Rift, to be honest with you, because I wasn't really playing these games. I never even played the first Motorstorm. The only one I played back in the day was going to be Arctic Edge, and I was enjoying it a bit, but I also wasn't, and the funny part is I was going to be a lot younger then, so probably didn't really appreciate or understand the game all that much. I was kind of just messing around with it. But now going back in and playing Motorstorm, these games really are going to be just a pure fun factor. You're going to have something like rally cars, trophy trucks, buggies, big rigs. You're going to have mud vehicles. You're going to have bikes, ATVs. There is going to be all kinds of different vehicles you can use. You have like the shunt thing where you can like knock into other racers. On a motorcycle, you can like hit them and stuff off. Like if you're going against other bikes, you can knock them off their bikes and stuff. So it is going to give you a chance to have a different type of gameplay aspect that basically no other game offers, because there was pretty much not another racing game that's going to offer something along the lines of the chaotic racing that Motorstorm did end up offering. I really don't think you're going to see a big rig truck and a motorcycle in the same race and see a buggy jump over you and then see a rally car fly past you, then you end up wrecking them or something. You're going to be hitting massive jumps like you guys see me in the background with this insane big rig that is going to have a rocket on the back of it. Really does look absolutely insane. And the cool part is I do feel like they did end up capturing this pretty well, because Pacific Rift and the first Motorstorm are probably going to be fairly similar in a way. Like, I did understand where they were coming from. Pacific Rift did end up building upon it with like the vehicle skins, the other cars it ended up having in it, and also the different tracks and the different types of tracks you would end up seeing. And then pretty much after that, we did end up seeing Apocalypse, which honestly just took it to an entirely different level, man. In ways I was kind of playing through Apocalypse, my entire jaw was dropped in some of these events. I also did like the cutscenes they had in there that were going to be animated and stuff like that. It was kind of like a cool little touch when you're going through the campaign and stuff, like it's going to add on to it. Seeing the entire map's going to be on fire, there's debris everywhere, there's other racers trying to wreck you. There's things falling down like crates and all kinds of things in every single event you do. Buildings are falling over on some maps, and the entire race is changing throughout it. And I would say Apocalypse really was going to be an insane difference compared to Pacific and also the first Motorstorm. I'm going to be honest, guys, seeing something like Apocalypse, it doesn't even have to be remastered, bro. Seeing that game come over to PS5, imagine that game remastered with new graphics. Even though back then, I gotta admit, I feel like Apocalypse looked great. If they were to just port that over to PS5, I would honestly be more than happy with it. It really did look amazing and kind of hit you with different angles of, yo, this is going to be crazy looking. Look how they did end up having this storm in there. You're going to see the other clip to where it was basically like a big hurricane thing. And that really did blow my mind with how that map changed pretty much throughout the entire time you were doing it, bro. Boats were coming in, crashing. Tornadoes were throwing boats onto the track, and another boat would crash in. You'd see like other stuff falling over. Cars would get destroyed next to you. Really was going to be absolutely intense pretty much the entire way through it. And I feel like that was something Apocalypse did a very good job at. Now, I'm going to be honest, yes, Apocalypse was going to be a bit different than pretty much the first and second Motorstorm. But I really did enjoy the overall gameplay of the first Motorstorm and also Pacific Rift. Like, I was going through the first Motorstorm, I was genuinely having a good time with the tracks in there, messing with different vehicles, trying to be faster on an ATV, or even using a bike or a buggy or something like that, a big rig, and trying to race and beat the other drivers and stuff. It was still going to be a very fun and chaotic moment, which I would say a lot of people would love basically every single Motorstorm. It honestly does make me wish they would end up making another one, guys, but the biggest thing is, will that actually happen? I am curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Also, again, do let me know which Motorstorm was your favorite game out of all of them. To be honest, I really don't know. It's kind of a hard decision. I would probably say number one is most likely Apocalypse for me, just because of the way they did end up designing the races and stuff. It was absolutely wild. I also really did enjoy Pacific Rift and the first Motorstorm, so maybe for me those might end up being fairly close in the overall gameplay aspect. And I feel like a lot of players would pretty much enjoy any of them if you never got to play them. To be real, I would honestly recommend playing all three of these games if you guys haven't. If you can get them on the emulator thing on PC, do it. Or go out and get yourself a few copies for a PS3. Definitely worth every single bit of it. I really do wish we'd get another game, but to be honest, with how Evolution Studios closed and the overall directions of Codemasters and other things with EA, well, I really don't know if it's going to really be possible at this point.